Okay, feeling very called today to speak about the elements. The elements, okay? So, I'm sharing this from a book called How to Read Signs and Omens in Everyday Life. I'm getting a massive confirmation that this is definitely the message that needs to be shared today. So, we're going to start here with this book and starting off with this quote. The chapter is Air, Earth, Fire, and Water, Everyday Alchemy. So, on my own spiritual journey, I have found that alchemy is my favorite way to just be. I don't know any other way to explain it without just getting into it, because I don't want to use my own experience here, where I am allowing myself to be conduit versus sharing my own experience. So just here we go. Sorry if I'm a little nervous. I should have probably cleansed before I did this, but in this way I am activating that in right now for this read here. My higher self, my spirit guides, Archangel Michael, thank you for being here with me, and my archangels as well that are always around and protecting me, the sun, the earth, air, fire, water, and earth. We're welcoming in the protection of those elements in this moment now. Okay, so I don't know that I've actually read this chapter. I kind of use this chapter or this book to in many different times. I've just like to thumb through it. It's a book I carry with me all the time. I've learned a lot. I've gone from front to back, and I've also just thumbed through and figured out whatever spirit wants from me to learn that day, and that is exactly what I've done for today. I actually was going on a somewhat of an adventure before I ended up here at my sacred tree, and I noticed that there was a giant storm coming in from the east. So I decided that I would not take this adventure, as I do not need to be stuck in the middle of the city in the rain. So I decided to stay, and lo and behold, the thunder is confirming, the wind is confirming this for me right now, that this is definitely where I was meant to sit and be. So, and a pine cone literally just dropped from the tree. So thank you. Thank you. Did I mention that when I came up upon this tree as well, that the hawk was sitting in the tree today? Like, I literally walked up on a hawk sitting in this tree. I've seen this hawk several times before, but he was just sitting right here, bro. Just like right up there on that ledge. Okay, so back to the book. Unless the bodies become incorporeal, and the spirits corporeal, no progress will be made. The true beginning, then, of our work is the solution of our body, because bodies, when dissolved, become spiritual in their nature, and are yet at the same time more fixed than the spirit, though they are dissolved with it. For the solution of the body means the coagulation of the spirit, and vice versa. Each gives up something of its own nature. They meet each other halfway, and thus become one inseparable substance, like water mixed with water. Marsilio Ficino, 15th century Florentine alchemist and astrologer. Air, earth, fire, and water are part of our daily lives, whether we live in a penthouse in New York City or on the bush in Central Australia. This is obvious. We breathe the air, we walk on the earth, we cook with fire, and we receive sustenance from the fire of the sun. As for water, 3/4 of our planet and our bodies are made up of water. Air, earth, fire, and water, they are the sources of life. Wherever we are in the world, we face these 4 elements. We can never escape the air we breathe, the ground we tread, the fire from the sun and from our stoves, and the water we drink. It's literally, I'm calling it a storm. I'm not calling it the storm, but the storm is literally coming quickly. So let's hope that the elements allow me to share this message before it becomes technologically impossible. Anyways, wherever we are in the world, we face these 4 elements. We can never escape the air we breathe, the ground we tread, the fire from the sun and from our stoves, and the water we drink. We share these elements with all other living beings on this planet. In the West, those who sought to wrest basic truths from earth, fire, water, and air, were called alchemists. But in elementary school, we were taught that alchemists were misled men who tried to turn lead into gold. We laughed at the stupidity of these greedy old wizards. However, it is in this perception that is childish. Turning lead into gold was a metaphor, obviously. And spiritual alchemy is the same. The search to transform lead into gold was often a cover story for a much deeper and much more dangerous and heretical search, the transformation of consciousness from its base metal into the sublime, into the divine. The alchemists strive to extend the spiritual realm of light by pushing back the world of matter. Basil Valentine was a Benedictine monk at the end of the 16th century. He was also a closet alchemist. I myself know a little bit about being a closet alchemist in the past. No longer hiding that part of myself. Confirmation from all that is divine around me, as I am not sharing I'm not sharing that part about myself anymore. In a work that was secretly published, Valentine put things in their proper order. All things, he said, proceed from a heavenly influence, elemental operation, earthly substance. From this mixture arise the 4 elements, water, air, earth, which engender by the help of fire, hide therein in a warm digestion, producing a soul, spirit, and body. A century before Valentine, another alchemist and astrologer, Marsilio Ficino, spoke of transforming the inner gold, the golden self. Alchemists used heating, cooking, boiling, and baking. They used them literally to experiment with changes in the form of matter. They tested various substances and watched them change in this. In this, they laid the basis for the development of modern chemistry. But the alchemists also used boiling, baking, heating, and cooking as figurative terms to discuss the change of consciousness from the base metal to its higher form. The alchemists were seekers of truth. They were the folks who tried to find the connection between material and spiritual transformation. Traditional tarot and astrology make use of the 4 elements of Western alchemy. In the tarot, the suits are divided into 4 elements. Wands are fire, pentacles are earth, swords are air, and cups are water. In Western astrology, the signs of the zodiac are also divided into the 4 elements. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are fire signs. Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio are water signs. Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo are all earth signs. And Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius are all air signs. On the other side of the globe, a sophisticated study of alchemy developed in China. In Chinese alchemy, there were 5 elements. I wish I could share the sky with you right now. In the Chinese alchemy, there were 5 elements: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. These elements were interrelated. For example, wood burns and produces fire. The fire produces ash or earth, from which is mined metal, which melts, becoming like water, which nourishes wood. Each of the 5 elements produces another element and destroys yet another. For example, while wood produces fire, it destroys or absorbs earth, and while metal produces water, it destroys wood. Axes, for example, are made of metal. Earth destroys or absorbs water, and water destroys fire. Fire destroys metal. Ooh. The study of alchemy in China began as early as the 7th century BC. It was called wuxing, which aptly meant the quintet. At first, the quintet signified only the 5 elements. Soon, however, it came to have a spiritual meaning and was used in broader terms. The 5 ways of righteous conduct, the 5 social relationships, the 5 virtues, 5 tastes, 5 colors, and 5 tones. For later Chinese alchemists, the 5 elements were universal. They could be found in the body of human beings, in the earth, the heavens, everywhere. Despite a difference in the number of elements, Western and Chinese alchemists had one thing in common. Both felt that the smallest aspects of material reality was a reflection of a larger cosmic whole. From the monk Basil Valentine, the human body was a microcosm of the universe. For the Chinese, too, everything on earth was a reflection of its divine form. So there is a practice here, and since we're out and I have gotten this far in this chapter, and if you're still here, this is a practice that I will leave with you. You can pause the video or go back and take a moment to try this. So it's elemental, a Western alchemy. For Western alchemists, the 4 elements were present everywhere. They were part of our material, spiritual, emotional, and mental worlds. We are part of this tradition even if we are not aware of it. We think of people as earthly or fiery. Some people are grounded, others are airheads. We talk about going with the flow. The 4 elements are part of our consciousness. They are also part of our unconsciousness. Just viewing things in terms of the elements can fundamentally change our entire perspective. And that is one of the hugest things that I stand for, too, is respecting those, that came before us, the elements of this earth. Everything that came before us, the earth, the fire, the water, and the air. It's very much the base of my personal alchemy, and it's much like many other people who are on this journey. I don't want to sound like it's I'm exclusive to that, because it is very much part of what this journey is almost like I picture it almost like being like the last airbender. It's like I feel like I've personally come to this time in my life where I've mastered all of the elements. Most of my incarnations were spent searching and seeking Source, the Almighty, the true Almighty. And through that and through this life's awareness to my the potential within my soul, I've managed to awaken some things within myself that have made it very clear to me who I am, what I'm doing, how long I've been here, what I am to this planet and to my, and what it is, as my ears ringing, what it is that I am meant to do here. So, again, I'd like to share that I am new to this whole experience of sharing myself and being authentic with who I am. And when I say being authentic with who I am, I mean owning who I am as I am. Not saying that I'm trying to be authentic, I am just being myself. So this here says, take a few minutes to think about earth, air, fire, and water. Close your eyes and think of the characteristics of each. So maybe I will do this right now with you. So the fire element for me has been coming up very strong. Creation, energy, fire burns. In this sense, I'm talking about your inner fire as well. Connecting to those elements within you and establishing a connection with your inner fire, establishing a connection with your inner spark. A lot of those things will take you back to your roots, just like the color red, and it will, if you can allow yourself to connect to your roots and awaken your inner child and allow them to play around with your energy as you connect here more with your inner fire. I personally love the element of fire. I use it a lot. Now, the next element that I'm feeling called to express some energy to is air itself, as air is our is our essence. We cannot be here without air, and we very much need these trees and things to keep us connected and alive and breathing. And just like this tree is also representing earth, our connection to the earth and air is very important. Connecting the heaven to earth, as we are that conduit for that connection here. I was feeling very called to just mention that as earth. Earth can heal us if we give her our troubles. The wind carries it away, like our thoughts. The rain comes to cleanse and nourish. Hydrate and protect. So think of the elements as adjectives. For example, what is watery? What is fiery? What is earthy? And what is airy or ethereal? So I like to think about the ether actually as its own element, as the dream ether. We tend to forget about ether. I think a lot of people do, and that is not anyone's fault. But personally, when you tap into that ethereal element within the four elements as well, that is the magic. That is the ethereal, the primordial essence of pure connection to that is all that is living. Okay, so now it's asking, so think of people that you associate with each of the four elements. Go through the elements one by one. Take the element of earth. Think of all things earthly. What feelings are connected to this? For example, the feeling of security might be associated with earth. What time of year do you associate with this? And what are the pulses of this element? For example, you might see being grounded as positive earthiness. And what are the minuses? For example, being stuck in one place is negative earthliness. It's like we say when I was just thinking about this today actually. as somebody I know is being grounded, if you will. But for me, I am very much somebody who needs to be grounded a lot because I am an air sign and I do spend a lot of time in my upper chakras. Those were always super active and always have been super active for me as well. So do the same thing with the elements of fire, water, and air. And during the course of the week, keep an eye on all things with the view of categorizing them according to their elemental state. Don't be disturbed if some things are a combination of elements. The idea is simply to play around with the way we look at reality. And that's such a good thing, because with any of this going forward in spirituality, nothing is going to help you more than being compassionate with yourself. Allowing yourself to be where you are, to start where you are, to do what you do and what you can as you can when you can. There's no getting down on yourself. There's no creating unrealistic expectations for yourself, because that will ultimately cause you to be in a freeze state, which is more so the state of earthiness that I would say most people get in, especially with all of the different ways that our minds work here. So I'm going to see if there's anything else that we need to share right now. I'm literally so blessed that I have people that are watching me right now and gaining some sort of insight for themselves as I am doing this for myself in the same moment. I find it really important that we share our knowledge with each other and that we share our wisdom with each other in a way that comes from a space from, your heart. It takes a lot to be vulnerable. It takes a lot to step out of your comfort zone. For me, it takes a lot letting go of the reins and, yes, getting out of your own way and allowing Source to come through in the way that he wants to show up, or she, or whatever you consider it to be. I use the word him a lot, but I think that's an interchanging thing for me. I just try to connect with the spirit of things, like Father Son and Grandfather Sky and, Mother Moon and Mother Gaia, Grandmother Moon, Mother Gaia, or Grandmother Gaia and Mother Moon, like whatever you want to call it. I just know that it's in essence using that vocabulary is kind of respecting those that came before us, and that is the biggest thing to do, as our ancestors have laid the way for us to build this world in a beautiful way if we allow it, which I refuse. It's in my bones. I literally have no choice. The only choice I have is my free will, but my free will is aligned with the divine in such a way that this is not a sacrifice for me to be here. It's not a sacrifice for me to be on this planet. It's not something that I look at as a chore, or I feel like I was slighted in any way. For me, it's very... it empowers me to see myself grow so much, because there's been a lot of things that I've gone through in my life that have been there to, strategically designed there to try to test me, and I'm so glad that I've managed to keep allowing those challenges to test me and finding the wisdom as I can. So I don't know why I felt like I needed to get eye to eye with you on that, but I did. So, all right. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, wind, earth, fire, and water. I just wanted to say thank you for continuing to envelop me in your energies, and your light energy, and your healing energy. I'd just like to invite Spirit in this moment to give us one more message here, as it's going to rain and I don't want to be sitting in the rain. So, again, all right. So the point here is to learn. Okay, so this is called mirror, mirror. All right. All right, so we're going to... All right, so here we go. There is a card in the traditional tarot deck called the Star. It portrays a young woman kneeling at a stream. She has a cup in her hand. One cup is lifted to the moonlit sky, receiving the energy from above. The other is turned down, pouring its contents into the stream. For me, the card has always represented the two inseparable aspects of love, giving and receiving. It is difficult to know just where giving ends and receiving begins. Is a mother breastfeeding her newborn child giving or receiving? Clearly, she is giving both her body and her love, and she is receiving the unconditional love of her child. The baby is both receiving the milk of his mother and giving his love. What is happening between mother and child is an exchange of energy. Love and nurturing are flowing back and forth. Reading another person is an exchange of energy. Through time, the reader, whether it be an Infuago chicken egg diviner of the Philippines, a Mayan crystal seer, or an Irishman looking at the shapes of hot lead as it hits the water, must remain open. The reader, after all, is allowing himself to experience new perceptions. Similarly, the person being read must be open. It's a two-way street. We are naturally receptive species. We are a naturally receptive species. We come into this world trusting and receptive, and no matter what happens as we grow older, that open part of us is still within. In a reading, we contact that openness. At a certain point in any reading, it is difficult to tell who is giving and who is receiving. And this is so crazy, you guys, because I didn't even come out here trying to read anything, but this is the way that I have been shown through spirit, that this is my gift, or at least I'm allowing this to be something that is a reality for me. Like I said, I see symbolism in everything, and that's actually one of the very first things that I ever actually asked the universe with any intention was, please show me the sign, please guide me along the way, send me the right music, send me the right book in the right moment, the right quote, the right word, the right person, and help me be in that right place at the right time, and help to guide me in that way through signs. Like whether it be me driving down the street and seeing a billboard, I know when these signs are being dropped because it's been at least 10 years now since I've been experiencing these types of synchronicities in my life. And at this point, I know they're much bigger than that. They are seriously communication from the universe, for real. Straight up. And just because the word was here, je ne sais quoi, freaking Cleo Ra always says this, or I've heard this before, and also so does Lieberland. Yes, I'm name dropping, but I don't care because they are so sweet to me. They're so sweet to me. So that certain je ne sais quoi, it doesn't mean a thing if it ain't got that certain je ne sais quoi. Peter Sickle, I don't know, sickle? I don't know. It is weird how difficult it is for most of us to compliment someone directly without any motive. This is strange because human beings are naturally innocent and loving. And I don't know why, but this just brought up something for me. The other day I was out at the bar with a friend of mine, and this girl walked over, and I wanted to just be like, you're so beautiful. Or like something came out of my mouth that I almost wanted to be like, I love you. And I didn't realize that was like kind of how that was going on. It'd been the first time since I had gone out in public in a long time. And I look at her and I'm like, I love your hair. And I felt like such a dork, but she liked it. But then in the end, I felt really like not like genuine about the comment because I did love her hair, but I loved her energy. I just like wanted her to be aware that it wasn't her physical appearance that I was attracted to in that moment and wanted to share it with her. It was literally her fucking energy, and I just didn't know how to say that at the same time, so it was really funny for me. This is strange because human beings are naturally innocent and loving. It is true that love has become just another four-letter word, yet without a loving and caring attitude, there can be no decent kind of reading. So this is interesting that this is going into reading, because I'm reading, this book is How to Read Signs and Omens in Everyday Life. This isn't even technically even talking about cards, but I'm, I know as part of my journey I am guided to use tarot. I think because it gives me more of a solid foundation through other people's experience with cards, that I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that. So, yet without a loving and caring attitude, there can be no decent kind of reading. Like many other things, the more we start verbalizing what we see, the more we see. When we say what we see, we are focused or forced to see things differently. Words are strange that way. Once they are out of our mouths, they have an unusual way of having an effect on both the other person and ourselves. When we blurt out something in anger, a statement that is hurtful, it has an impact on the other person. And I truly, absolutely, 100% believe that. 100%. You guys have seen the rice tests or whatever, but I think that no matter what your intention is that you're speaking, if you're speaking it with intention and there's an emotion behind it, especially anger, especially fear, especially sadness, grief, whatever it is, that intention is definitely going to be more amplified in that moment with that energy. And it can create a chaotic situation if you're not clear with your energy. So definitely be aware of that. Our fury subsiding, we may see the whole situation differently, but the words have already had their effect. So like I said, very, 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 very important to pay attention to the things that you say, especially in today's time. I don't know if most people are aware of this. Actually, I know most people aren't aware of this. Since 2020, we've had the most potent ability to manifest the life of our dreams. Why do you think things have been getting so chaotic and crazy with the governments and with everything else in the world? The fear-mongering and the puppeting and all that shit. Don't fucking fall for that game. Don't fall for it. Keep going. Keep fucking trusting your heart. Keep trusting your intuition. Keep trusting your gut, asking your angels and talking to God. Everything's going to be fine. On the other hand, if we say something is caring to another, there is also an impact. There is an impact of the words on the other person. There's also an impact of our words upon us. It is a warm feeling that all of us have experienced, and when we consciously approach others with caring statements, we begin to see the world in a different way. And that is like so awesome to this is so awesome because this is such a good like thing right here. So reading as a warm fuzzy. Many years ago, Dr. Claude Steiner wrote a tale for children and adults about warm fuzzies. Warm fuzzies were food for the heart. They were compliments stated sincerely. They were unconditional expressions of love and caring. In the story, everybody was used to receiving their warm fuzzies until an evil witch came around. She peddled plastic fuzzies. These were conditional statements like you are a good person when you aren't complaining. That's fucked. That's some fucked up type of energy. I'm sorry if anybody's dealing with that kind of fucking shit. You ain't gotta deal with that shit. Sorry about my language, but I am a fucking adult and I cuss here, and this channel is not for children, so whatever. Sometimes you are really nice. That kind of shit is fucked up, bro. Sometimes you're really nice. Okay, soon the plastic fuzzies glutted the world, and people were starving for the original warm fuzzies. A couple of years ago, I was working at an arts camp for kids. The staff was unusually loving, but by the 6th week of camp, everybody was exhausted. Small things irritated people, and even the most dedicated counselor occasionally thought of running away. It was during this 6th week of camp that I offered a warm fuzzy workshop. Few of the kids had any idea of what it would be about. but about 20 kids and staff showed up. In the workshop, everybody wrote something loving and sincere to somebody else in camp. And maybe we can do this in the comments. I don't know how we would do this because we don't know each other, but maybe after we've seen other people's comments about maybe warm and fuzzies that they would like to share with other people, you can comment off those. I encourage everybody to be specific. The letters had to be anonymous. Well, in this case, they won't exactly be anonymous, but maybe they can be in some way. Get creative. At first, people were hesitant. Saying something that is caring and warm to another person is not that common, but then the words started to flow. The workshop lasted for a little over an hour, and the group had produced at least 150 letters. A stream of anonymous, loving letters flooded the camp mail. For a brief period, the mood in the camp grew lighter. For a day or two, people were less exhausted and less annoyed. And I'd like to say, let's try this. Let's totally try this. The people who enjoyed it the most are the ones who wrote the letters. In this game, we give warm fuzzies, which are a basic aspect of reading. This game gives us some practice. It is best played with 3 or more people. So this is freaking awesome, right? Because in the same way where I'm sharing my, I don't fucking know, these are warm and fuzzies for me. These are the warm and fuzzies that I fill up on in a day. You know, it's like being of service to other people really gives you back that energy. When you bless people, who are in a good relationship or a happy relationship or whatever you want to say, you bless those people, you actually are like, you know, you give what you get, right? Or you get what you give. So think about it like that. Now it says, so this is okay, so I don't know what this is going to say here, but it's part of the Warm and Fuzzies workshop. So everybody take a few minutes to concentrate on the others in the group. And this isn't really exactly going to work. Maybe we can take a moment and just take a few minutes to concentrate on the others in the group or others that may be viewing this reading at some timeless point in reality. Try to pick up some characteristics about each person, the way he carries himself, the way in which he speaks, or anything. Write out one paragraph for each person in the group. Without judgment, write something that the person has to do, something about the person that has to do with who that person is. It is not at all necessary to know the person who you're writing about. So there we go. If this is kind of like a collective psychic activity that you and I can both try. And maybe just try to channel into somebody that needs a message today. And just go with the flow and start channeling it, start flowing it out. Maybe pray before you do it. Ask your spirit guides or whoever you call on. So it says, put the name out of the person you are writing about on the paper. I mean, that would be really sweet if we could do this and actually say a name and get a name out there. And then if that person actually got drawn to I'm going to say meeting, but this message and sees the comment. Okay. And, as we know this, it is not easy to verbalize positive things about ourselves. We are told to be modest. We are conditioned not to be conceited. We end up thinking that to say something nice about ourselves is taboo. In this game, we break the taboo and begin to read ourselves. Okay? So as someone who's experienced a lot of my own mountains within this journey about sharing some things of myself, imposter syndrome, not feeling like I was capable of coming on here and sharing anything of value. That thinking right there needs to get cut the fuck out of the window, because the moment that I start to put myself in a box and not allow myself to show up for myself on the daily as myself, that's when I get pushed real fucking down, and it takes a hell of a lot to get that bitch out. It takes me a lot to get out, like a lot. I think every time I go to post a new video, I think it takes me 5 fucking days just to get past my shit. And at the same time, a lot of that is divine timing, because I do share the message when they need to be shared, and they come to me as they come to me, and it's effortless usually. It's mostly when I am trying to show up in a way way ahead of the message, if that makes sense. So for days I'm like, I want to get on and I want to do this and I want to do that, but I had other things that were going on in my life that I needed to coordinate so that I can better show up in these ways, be more available for spirit when it's necessary. So I'm literally looking over at the sun right now, and there is this beautiful golden eye shining straight through the clouds. So I just wanted to say thank you for allowing this message, sharing this time with me, sharing your time and your energy in this way with me. I would really appreciate any new followers, any like or commenting that you would like to do, any loving or sharing of anything, from the heart. I am open to that type of connection. I'm here for like-minded, soul-aligned, and spiritually open individuals who are looking to ground deeper into their inner knowing. If you are just starting out on your spiritual journey, that is okay. I am on phase something of something. I don't really know which phase of the spiritual awakening that I am in, because I've gone through several times, different levels. I like to call them levels. I don't know that there are phases. I feel like there are levels, and there's really no way that any of us could tell you in a book, like, here you go, this is what's going to happen on your journey. So stay tuned and just, like I said, it's okay to be where you are. It's okay to start where you are, as you are. Be who you are, as you are, and just own that. And the more that you allow yourself to be comfortable and compassionate with you, the easier everything else will flow. Thank you. Sending you all so much love and so much compassion and so much willingness to take this bull by the horns. This next Aries season that we're walking into, this astrological new year that we're just about to have, this equinox and this eclipse season that we're just about to go through is going to be super potent. So you're gonna want to stay active. Active, happy, joyous, and free, but also standing your boundaries, doing the fucking work, getting your hands dirty, and showing the fuck up. Okay, bye.